everybody, I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are having a great day today. If you're new here, I want to welcome you to School of Scarlet, the School of Unconditional Love. And if you're a returning subscriber or returning viewer, thank you so much for tuning back in. I'm so happy to have everybody here today. So today I just wanted to talk about the tipping point. And so the tipping point is the final step really to freedom, really to really unconditionally living through your heart. So we'll get to that in a moment. I just wanted to give us a couple reminders. Today is the final day for the early bird price for the unconditional course. Now, the unconditional course is basically what we're going to be talking about today. Really, these steps and these ways to align with our heart. It's a course that will reorient you to the heart. So we a lot of times work with our brain and our logical mind, and we're very disconnected from our heart. So this is reconnecting you to your heart, which is you, and basically giving you more of you. So if you're interested in that, it is a 3-month course, a supportive, really interactive type of course. So if you are interested in that, email me at schoolofscarlet@gmail.com. Don't hesitate. Just in the subject line, just write I am ready. If you find yourself with some financial barriers or something like that, go ahead and email me if you feel called to do so, and that will be manifested for you. So, so let's talk about the tipping point. So, the tipping point is basically, like I say, this final step or this final move to the heart. And it is one of the most uh, painful sometimes, but also liberating steps that there is. Now, this is all occurring naturally. This isn't something that we call upon ourselves to happen. This is just going to happen in the process at some time. And it's usually the final hurrah. So, what ends up happening is that you go through this whole process of what we've talked about in other videos. You may have some triggers come up. Once you've aligned to the heart, there's going to be this period of change because your whole life was built upon your logical mind, upon people pleasing, upon what generally most of society follows. So once you move to the heart, you're kind of going to have this upheaval of your life. Things are going to begin to shift and change. I've talked about I've lost and not lost, but friends have removed themselves, things like that. I've had career change. I've had all kinds of things shift and change within my process of moving to the heart. So all of these things will change. Like I moved locations, a lot of things will happen as this process is happening, and it can last some time. As a matter of fact, I really don't feel that anything is ever complete. We are always evolving in different ways. But this is the last kind of cry from the ego or the mind to stay in power. And the power really of the mind is that egotistical power of really having power over someone, something, thinking that it's doing something for itself or whatever. But the power from the heart is this heart centered power. It's a whole other kind of power. So, power is not something to be feared. The egotistical power, maybe, but the power in your heart is the power of love, and it's just leading you towards things that you love. So that's all that is. It's the power of love. And so we're going to get to that because the tipping point basically opens up unconditional love. And so what you'll find is that as you reorient to the heart, you can consciously do that in everything. But you can't control a lot of what's happening in your environment necessarily for some time. There is like a time there where you've made all your intentions, you're reoriented to your heart, and you're walking the walk. You're taking that next step as it becomes available and doing everything that the heart is leading you to do. But in that process, like I say, your heart your life may begin to unravel in some ways because it was built basically, like they say, on sand, on sinking sand. It wasn't something solid like the heart. It was built on these illusions of fear of I need this or that to be worthy of something. So that will begin to kind of shake, and it's going to make you feel a little unsteady. And so as you begin to get into the heart, you begin to go into your power, and you have these states of beautiful bliss, of love, of really great things. And then maybe you get out in the world and maybe you go to work or you interact with people that are really not oriented to the heart at this time. And those people begin to, it seems like a weight. It seems like, they're putting their energy on you. It's hard to move, it's hard to be yourself. So these things will happen. And that's still the mind believing that it's hard, believing that there are people outside of itself that are making it hard for them, that there are environments or situations that they're currently in that are making it hard for themselves to follow their heart. And while that's what it may look like, I'm going to tell you today to ignore that. Ignore what they say, the 3D. I talked in the last video about 3D and 5D. So I say 3D really just means this reality. 5D is really just unconditional love, really seeing everything neutrally and really loving everything and getting into that creator power of really choosing and moving through life as your heart desires. So you're going to want to ignore your reality right now. You're just going to want to focus on your heart and your love. Because a lot of times what happens is we reorient to the heart and the heaviness of the world, whether maybe you work in a place that's got a lot of coworkers or people that are always very angry, or it's a lot of drama, who knows. So when we get into these environments, yes, it can feel like a lot. But we have to remember that we are in joy. We don't have to match their energies. If they are feeling that way, if they are believing these fears, these lies, and things that's coming up in their minds, that's happening within them. We don't have to join them. So they can talk all their drama, they can do all their things, get angry, yell and scream, who knows, whatever they want to do. But we have to stay in our hearts, in our love, and if that is really how we feel, if we really feel that we're in love when we're walking into the situation, but because we're in there, it changes, then we have to examine that and say, no, I can't allow myself to lessen my light or diminish my love because of others that haven't experienced this love. I have to keep my love up and shining bright so that I could be the light for those people to see that it is possible to still work in such a place and have such a light. And eventually your environment will begin to shift. If you have really it reoriented to the heart and you are in love, uh, you're probably not going to continue working in such an environment. It's just taking a little bit of time. So you can think of it as your 5D self is you, the person you are now with the realizations that you have, and your 3D self that you're just kind of dragging along is maybe like your little brother that you have to take everywhere and teach them how to do stuff, and they're taking forever and they're being slow and they're not learning or doing it right. That's what it feels like we're just dragging this old self around. But eventually, with a little bit of time, that will completely change, and even your environment will change. But there is this tipping point, and this is the tipping point. The tipping point is you'll find yourself reoriented to the heart. You'll find yourself in love, in, really feeling like you're actually doing and living the life that you want in a lot of ways. But for some reason, there are still these things in your environment, whether it's the place you work is, you feel like, very negative or something, or maybe the person that you're married to or in a relationship with is not the right match for you anymore, or your family situation or your culture is not aligned with what you are now, and it becomes very painful because some of these situations are actually very fear-based programming and things that's going on. So these people are really believing these things and they really are suffering, and when we're not suffering anymore and they are, it's very strange. It could be sad to them also that you don't see, or it seems like you're happy and everything's not working out, but what they don't see is what you see, which is everything and the creator power that you are. So we still have to stay in our power, because when we do that, these other people that are suffering and things like that, they have a choice to join us and see that, hey, we're actually in the same boat. We actually work at the same place. we're actually married in the same home, but you know, one is choosing joy and the other is choosing fear. And eventually one can choose to join with joy or just leave. And same thing with the coworkers. They can choose to, hey, maybe we will have fun. Maybe we will like start to do lunches together, potlucks, or, maybe drinks after work or whatever we want to do. And they start to kind of liven up their work environment. They might have a great place, but it takes some time, and it takes some time of you really being you. And as you begin to be you, like I say, you get more of you. So wherever you are, whether that's at work or at home or wherever, you begin to get more of you. And if more of you isn't the environment, isn't the place you work, isn't the place, the person you're married to, or the culture you live in, you will begin to see those things just fall away. And what I mean is they'll just leave because they no longer can take, they can't take anything anymore. They can't keep up their sad sob story with you there anymore because you see the truth and you talk to them about the truth, or you point the truth, and it just doesn't match for them. They don't resonate. So those things will begin to fall off. And if it's your culture, the place you live, you'll know when it's time. Or you might lose a job, and it might be painful that you lost your job, and it's, you don't know if you're going to have money coming in. These things, stay strong in these moments, stay brave, stay courageous. These are the things that make space for the new things to come in. So you will begin to lose things. But as you lose those things, that's the space. And within a bit of time, I can't tell you how much, but sometime you will get those things back. We will always be restored and replenished no matter what. So, and usually in the much better ways, if we have our heart, if we were oriented to the heart, then we're going to get more of the better ways, which I would say is better because it's more aligned with who you truly are. Where the other ways, the ways of fear, are more aligned to everyone else. So it always feels like you're pleasing and doing for everyone else, and nothing is ever done for you, you know? So it's going to feel that way if you do everything for everyone else. But when you begin to listen to yourself and really go that path, no matter how hard it can get there for a little bit, you'll feel very free. You'll feel very expansive, and you'll begin to get more of the things that you actually want in your reality. So I really encourage you to stay strong in those tipping points as they happen. The worst case scenario, and I've been through that, and you know, I'm sure many others have as well, is that you will find yourself in a situation of joy, of love, and all of these things. And your environment might be a very, very different, almost like a prison. And so that is the worst case scenario, but we see this a lot, even like stories in religious texts where there is a person that is literally in an environment that is really hard to deal with. No one believes them. Maybe they are in prison. Maybe they are in, I don't know, an abusive relationship. Maybe they are in um, a work environment that they literally can't leave, or they don't have a way to feed themselves or whatnot, whatever. Something where it really feels like you're not going to be able to move. And so the only thing you can do is stay there in your joy. And as you stay there in your joy and you stay there in your love, your environment doesn't really change a whole lot. So it's going to feel difficult, but there will be a tipping point where it won't feel difficult anymore. You can feel like you can walk into any environment, any place, no matter how ugly or how bad or how scary or whatever, and you're in your full power, knowing that everything is you, and there's no more games anymore. And soon as you realize that prison basically disappears. So whatever it was will like leave in a couple days, or we will get out of there or whatever. As soon as that illusion is seen through and you remain in your joy, and you realize that you can walk into any situation, no matter how bad it is, and still be in your power and joy, that is when everything breaks and you really can see through everything. So you want to stay real strong in these moments and the tipping point moments. And if you really feel like you can't move, you can't leave this thing, whatever it happens to be, job, relationship, culture, whatever, um, that's okay. Just do the next right thing, like we've been talking about. Stay strong in your power, and at some point, the scales will tip and you will experience this freedom, like I say, of really, it doesn't matter what happens. I'm in my power. I'm following my heart. I love myself. I exist as whatever this expression is, and I'm free. So that is what that feeling is like. And so, just to give it a little bit of visualization, uh, you can imagine like a seesaw. And let's imagine that there's like a bully that it's us, and then all of a sudden a bully gets on. And this bully has us, he's a big bully and he's got us down. He's down here, he's got us up here, and he's scaring us, going up and down and up and down and scaring us, and we feel like we can't do anything. Okay. At some point, those scales are going to tip, and it's going to be the other way around. Not to say that we're going to get back at them or do something, but literally that's what's going to be. When you feel love, when you start to you're up here scared to death, so fearful of this bully down here who's really very weak, but you're very scared of him because you think fear is real. And as soon as you realize, oh, fear is not real, I'm not scared, I'm okay. I'm everything, and everything is supporting me and loves me. And as you feel that, you get into your power and you can stay up there. You're no longer wiggling and shaking like a leaf, like you're going to fall. You're strong in that. And the bully realizes, oh, that's no fun. He's not even scared anymore. So he goes off, and you are free to do whatever. So that's what it is. It's just like that, but it's something that we don't expect is coming. We don't know when it'll come, how it'll happen. But it seems to be the experience of most people I talk to. It seems to be my experience, and it seems to be that that is the tipping point that really breaks the dam. And suddenly, the only thing you have is freedom. No one can take anything from you because nothing outside of you is even real. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I encourage you to join my unconditional course if you are interested in reorienting to the heart, and share this video, get these type of videos out there so that more people can orient to their heart and live a more heart-centered life. Thank you so much for watching.